Welcome, everybody. Max Rice tonight is coming full circle. We have the first guest ever is back, DGainz. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me again, bro.
DGainz, how you doing?
And I've been amazing, man. Been pretty good.
I've been seeing you've been up to animation now. Added to the list of skills.
I've been working at animation now for like a month, like testing the waters. I ain't got my 10,000 hours in, but hopefully I'll be doing be at the Pixar level in the future. But I'm a one-man army right now. You need a whole team for something like that.
Yeah, you see the end of these movies, of an animated movie, and it's like 300 people.
And it's definitely time-consuming and taxing with the render times. And it has my my computer be sounding like a plane engine when I'm running the program. So I think I need to upgrade for sure.
For sure. Well, speaking of, it seems like there's been a reemergence of a lot of the work that you did in 2012.
Yeah.
Where, the video that you did, Love Sosa, received 60 million views last year, even though it came out now almost a decade ago.
Yeah, wow. I don't even think it got that many views in the first year that it came out originally. So, yeah, it did like 60 to 65 million last year.
So is 2012 already nostalgia? Because that depresses the hell out of me. If 2012 is already reached the nostalgia.
One more year, 10 years, 2022.
Yeah,
it'll be nostalgia.
Yeah, right now it's still young.
Yeah, it's still young, but next year is over with. It's old man time.
One thing that's really fascinating about me is the amount of money that came out of Chicago in 2012, but how that money was not equally distributed. Like how a lot of these songs are getting 60 million views even today, and videos and like other products, but the money seemed to kind of go to big corporations, or like middle managers. Well, managers too. It seemed like there was kind of layers of like two big con men, and then Hollywood, and then powers that be.
Yeah, for me, I can't quite honestly speak on where the money went because I'm not a lot of the artists in it. Like when I make my music, my stuff is coming to me. But as far as the other artists go, when stuff comes in and claim, like the audio gets claimed, I just see a lot of it be like UMG, like Universal Music Group. So
there's like 4 labels that I think control 90% of the market.
Yeah, so that's why I know a lot of now. As far as whatever business they got worked out with that label, I don't have a clue, but I just know like when I get claims of audio, it's mainly UMG. Yeah.
So yeah, don't buy UMG. But so one common criticism, and something you've talked about a little bit, is you talked about how you want to kind of go in a more positive direction since our last interview, and you have. Do you think like the UNGs of the world and like the Leor Cohens have a responsibility to like kind of censor or something to kind of the content?
I feel like
it seems like they flame the fans.
Yeah, maybe the responsibility starts first with the artist. You know what I mean? Like, I feel
I kind of feel bad for him. I feel bad for him because, like, do they, if they're under like these really horrible contracts that we're going to take your house if you don't do a goat's blood, a cover of goat's blood and talk about killing people?
It's just like it's a nasty situation. I never have to be in that space where I had that, so I can't really even say what that would feel like and what that choice would feel like because I've never really been. The decisions that I've had to make has been on my own. It's nobody else telling me if you don't do this, then this happens. It's been me at that crossroad and be like, you know what? I don't want to make this sacrifice because I don't want this to happen. So I don't know what it feels like for somebody else to have that power and hold that over my head. So I can't really, I don't know. But yeah, if they have that power, then it's their responsibility to be like, you know what? Let's go in this direction. You know what I mean?
We're gonna cut the shit. Then how do you speak to like the artists that are like in their 40s and 50s now and are kind of using Chicago language in like a very like reckless way? Because I'm starting to see that. Like people are kind
as far as what?
Like Gucci Mane kind of, he said some like really Chicago stuff that I don't even want to repeat. Like 40-year-olds that are like that are kind of trying to use that to get popular again. But
yeah, I think it's irresponsible. Like that's the best word I could think to describe it, is irresponsible and immature.
Yeah, because if you're 16 years old, I get it. Like, that's fine. You're just like, I don't want to. I'm glad I was not famous at 16.
And you don't know the seriousness of it. You know what I'm saying? But
even Beyonce, I hate to say it, like, it sounded like Bow Down. It's like, you're way too old.
It's like a lot of the times it's just like, man, you're never too old to be chasing validation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And immaturity doesn't have anything to do with age. So, hey, that's my take on it. I ain't gonna speak too much on them.
Just be more mature.
I don't need to be high on that.
But I do think it was, in all seriousness, it was one of the greatest financial and moral robberies of the decade. Because you literally saw deaths
hip-hop?
That it really wasn't, people like to blame the youth and the artists, but it does seem like the actual perpetrators were older generations in management and like labels and big corporations.
Yeah, even in the case where I feel like Chicago is like, I feel like we could have been better guided if the older people who came in with us, who so-called knew the industry and knew which and every way and directed us which and every way to go, if they came with better intentions, maybe, I feel like economically, like in Chicago, we ain't benefiting in no type of way for real. Like, not the way we did for us to have brought such great stock to Chicago. Like, we've definitely raised the stock and everything we was doing. I know me in particular, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I wonder did anybody in Chicago really even see real benefit from it? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like a lot of artists that have created hundreds of millions to billions of dollars in value got the same amount of financial that they would have working at Subway. And you had, and also I think organically, a lot of artists from across the city were working together, and you had a lot of management and labels turning people against each other.
Yeah. And then not even only just turning people against each other, because I can't really necessarily call that facts because I don't have any proof of I
not turn against, but like not working. Yeah, like at least preventing collaboration.
I can't say preventing. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, like, that's factual.
I don't feel like there was no prevention. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it was a lot of it is what it is. Like, I don't know if it was putting people against each other, but I definitely don't feel like it was enough trying to keep it together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And on anybody's end, honestly, on the artist, on anybody, I just feel like it was just too much ego,
way too much, and too much commercialism. Because one of the funniest things I'm not funny, it's one of the craziest hypocrisies that I remember was the whole "Put the Guns Down" campaign, where you had a lot of politicians and like religious people like Louis Farrakhan and Father Flagger, alleged pedophile now, but
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, no, he's going through some pedophile allegations, but they were really like meeting with a lot of just young artists that really weren't changing their lyrics at all. But they would take a photo.
I feel like that whole thing was hypocritical because then I feel like they play even more of it on the radio now. So it's like I feel like it'd be like super confusing to the youth. You know what I mean? Like, we tell you on one hand, like, put the guns down and then play all the music that's telling you to pick them up. And honestly, it's more detail and is what put the guns down. And then you got ride up on the block, hit them, get out and hit them. Make sure you stand over. Make sure it's a 30. Make sure it's loaded. Make sure it's you giving.
And I'm gonna shoot your son and stuff.
Yeah, it's detail. Yeah. Is a whole guidebook right here. Then it's just like I don't feel like it's enough effort on this side. And it's hypocrisy because you got the same people telling you to stop and go. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna cause a car accident. You're in the middle of the street flipping that bitch like that. And that's what you got.
Wait, up, down, yeah. And it definitely causes confusion.
It's a whole bunch of wreckage. All you got is all these people confused, don't know which way to go. And I just feel like when I was coming up, we still had a lot of people who would have talking about whatever, but we had other examples too. I just feel like in mainstream hip hop is just more the light is shined just more on destructive content and just like trashy, you know what I mean? Like I got my fair share of it. I didn't consume, but it's just like it's the majority now. Like where it's like just feel like an agenda at this point.
It does, because you see like literal brands. Like it's just, for me, it's crazy to see like Gucci and Prada, like brands for old women being embraced in like hip hop, and like pharmaceutical drugs and like just stuff that's
I've never owned designer before. I've never owned Gucci. I've never owned Prada.
You're not a 70-year-old woman. That's why.
Never in my life. I've never owned Louis. I've never owned any of that. I just don't see the point in it, you know, spending all that money on.
Yeah, but I do see that corporations, like if you use the name Prada, or like how Future had the Dirty Sprite mixtape, the corporations have to sign off on it. They can be like, no, we don't want to associate our brand with this, that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 100%.
When you use
the same copyright strikes you get on YouTube.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, Future just can't call it Dirty Sprite, which literally is promethazine, pharmaceutical drug.
So Sprite has to sign off on.
Yeah, and Dirty Sprite too. And they easily could be like, Future, you got to take out
and playing devil's advocate. The Future Sprite is already dirty before they throw their little juice in it. You know?
Right. You've done the penny experiment where it's
already dirty.
Yeah.
So they just, what they doing to it? They dirtying it up, like, you know, they throwing mud in mud.
They're like, diabetes is going to take too long, so we got to put.
Yeah, it's just diabetes. How about some, you know, whatever the fuck that do to it? You know, how about kidney failure with it? And whatever. You know, let's speed up the process. That's it.
Because that does seem new. Because like the bravado, like the threatening, and like the kind of the ego side of hip hop and all music, definitely it has been there for a while. But the kind of like glorifying the messed up drugs and like glorifying like fashion seems really, like just new and strange and consumer driven.
What's up?
It's the CIA.
Huh?
It's Jay-Z.
I'm taking care of something right now.
Yeah, no, I thought it was Jay-Z being like, you can't be talking.
He said he thought it was Jay-Z.
Yeah, and I do think it's important to talk about this, even though it could have career implications, because hopefully more people can feel comfortable speaking out. And I think you are. Like Jaguar, right?
It's just like it's just getting. I just feel like it's overwhelming to the point where it's like, even when, for me, it's bothersome where, you know, I'm trying to push my message and what I got to do, and you got these fans and all that's just like begging for that type of content and won't even give anything else a chance for real, because they want just destructive stuff. So that's when it gets kind of irritating. You feel me?
Well, just like,
I mean, it's already
if you drink water after drinking Sprite for 5 years, water's disgusting.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know. Like, I've been had this, you know, this stuff about for a while, but then now it's just like, now the more and more, it feels like the more and more I steer away from it, the harder it gets to push forward on my own message.
Well, that's one thing that's interesting about you, is that you've worked in different continents, different genres, different mediums, from animation, movies, music, like everything, like positive, negative, stuff in between, stuff just for fun. And it's interesting, like, I get human nature, but it's interesting what got the most media and like corporate interest. It was all the negative stuff.
The negative.
Because you have a lot of positive stuff.
Yeah, when you got I think back to like the documentary like websites and everything that came through in Chicago. Like, nobody, for me, even being here from Chicago, because a lot of the artists that I even dealt with, that I was actually fans of their stuff, I didn't mind watching these interviews and stuff like that and seeing them actually work and create. And I feel like the fans would have wanted to see that too, because shit, I wanted to see it. I'm sure they wanted to see it from each other, but I feel like every majority in the beginning, like when it first sparked, like when MTV came, I feel like that was the focus. It was the focus on who are these great artists. Like, damn, what's going on here? It was more about the music. Then slowly it transitioned into now all you got these what do you call them? What do you call interviewers? I guess now y'all in the trap house.
Instigators, kind of like
now y'all
the DJ
all
Vlads.
in the trap house.
Yeah,
nobody's in the studio with these artists. You know what I mean? Nobody's in the studio,
and they're not asking about lyrics. They're talking about like beefs and stuff. Like,
yeah, y'all talking about personal shit that don't. I mean, a lot of that is implemented in the music, but y'all getting into a whole. They literally putting y'all life at risk to get some shit that y'all don't even have to. That's y'all can focus on something that other people want to see without that same risk. You know what I mean? And get the same, if not better, reaction. You know what I mean?
It seems like it's a moral line because it's not. It's 100% because you see interviewers talking about like open court cases.
Yeah, just like with movies, bro. Like I feel like most violent movies, bigger the explosions, what is gonna sell at the box office a lot of the time. But then you got the other side of it where some of the most positive movies are the best sellers. I'm pretty sure. Like I feel like I looked at the top selling movies, and you got like Frozen and some shit. They fucking rain come here when it was snowing. We out here holding hands and shit. Like, come on, man. But yeah, I just say that.
Yeah. Is part of it that there is? Is it part of it that there is because there is a lot of gatekeepers? There are only like 5 labels, and there's still is it because there's so few positive music that makes it through? Because a lot of it's prevented from.
Yeah, I just feel like it's the overall. It's just I think it's like a seesaw, bro. In a way, if it makes sense, like there's a demand and it's a supply, like literally supply and demand. Damn, we seeing this because I as artists I see, you know, they'll drop all the gang shit and that shit go up, then they'll try something different. Like I feel like there is a lot of artists who create that type of material who actually want to step outside of it. And I see these artists try different things and it doesn't get even half of what the other stuff is getting. So, you know, you got to hold the fans accountable too. If y'all stepped up and said, man, we want more of this from y'all, then the artists do that when they try to get y'all something different. You know, you ain't killed Johnny in this one.
And you see the popularity of all like the drama recaps on YouTube, and they kind of feed the fire.
It's just
the DJ Vlad videos.
Yeah, and it's like, but you know, a lot of these people aren't where we from either. You know, so they don't see the severity of it. I lost a family member last year. And I never had experienced that. That's one of the reasons I decided to step away from it too. I had made the decision before that, but that just was like a confirmation. And to see what it did to my family and the looks that they faces at the funeral and his mother crying over his casket, it's like, y'all don't know what that felt like. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So y'all can sit back and fuel it and root it on, but y'all don't have to deal with them in between. Y'all just seeing what's happening on the internet. Y'all don't see the trauma and everything else that goes on behind the scenes. Because, you know, people can look strong all day on the internet, but if you study losing friends, what is it like to sleep at night? What about them moments when it's quiet, when you don't got your headphones on, when there's nothing going on, where all you got to do is sit and think? What are you thinking about? People don't think about those moments and what these people going through when you study demanding these artists and instigating all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
They kind of see it as like kind of a video game, like a GTA.
Yeah, like a TV show, a reality show. You know what I'm saying? Even in reality shows, you don't get to see all that other stuff. They edited in that. You know, this is unedited and raw and just, yeah. Like
it does seem like they are rooting for more death and violence. So I think
at this point they somebody, you know, you ever seen Deadpool?
Yeah.
Remember they had the board with the names of who gonna die next. Like I feel like that's how they play it now. Like I bet you let's bet money on it. Like that's how.
They bully people. Like I mean, like I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this person at all. But Tekashi 6ix9ine, people are rooting for him to die, and that's not like it. Just really seems surreal.
Somebody like him, I feel like he kind of asking for it too. Like I'll tell you this, Tekashi. I liked Tekashi at first. I felt like he was funny.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like even after. Like he was somebody I was kind of rooting for a little bit because he was kind of an underdog, and it was like, but then it's just like you reaching. I feel like if he just went in the studio and made some great music, he would win regardless, without even all the shenanigans. With all that behind him, everything there. If he goes, great music is undeniable. Like, think about how many great entertainment periods is undeniable. Think about how many.
Well, music is the next level because it's the universal language. It's the only thing that can travel.
Great entertainment is undeniable. So no matter who you are, I don't care how bad you done. When you release something great, people can't deny it. They'll hate you all day. But, if I feel like he focused more on the music, that wouldn't be the case for him. People wouldn't be rooting for him to die. You know what I'm saying? And that sucks for him. But, the energy he putting out is like, I can't even vouch for him or even speak against it. Like, it's like, hey, you knock at the devil's door.
Well, I think it's by design. You know me.
Yeah.
I think that they're kind of having him instigate people on purpose because he was facing life in jail.
Yeah, he probably doing that too. But it's just like, what type of choice? You still got a choice. You could take it on the chin like a man, be like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. And I take whatever consequence comes with that. So I think if that's the case, that's a coward.
Yeah, he could put the guns down.
But
his Instagram Live got 10 million views in the first minute.
Yeah, but instead he go and do all the just, I don't know.
Starting beat with 50-year-olds with like Snoop Dogg and Meek Mill.
I think all that shit's stupid. But then they older and they feed into it. So, you gotta, it just you feel like everybody wants some type of attention though. That's why I feel back a little bit from the industry period, because it's just like, man, it's so shallow. I just feel like ain't no real, nothing just be feeling real to me. It's just everything be shallow. Even when somebody's actually angry, it's like, I'm mad, but how can I turn this mad into some likes? And you know what I'm saying?
It seems like the WWE, a lot of the rap beefs have just seemed so fake. It's not even
like real emotion. It's like, it's emotion, but it's just something else tied to the emotion.
It seems like Harry Potter, almost.
This shit.
That makes sense.
It don't, but somehow it does.
Well, with like the gossip side of it, it's just like how all the information we get is from like the TMZ. Like, we don't really know famous people's personal lives.
I don't know how the hell they be getting that. It be feeling like they calling and telling them. So look, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
a movie plot.
They be on the scoop. Yeah, I don't know what to believe no more, man. Honestly.
Drake was texting Kim. Who told you?
How you know? Kim. Yeah. Kim told me.
But that's why it definitely seems like theater, and maybe there could be agreements beforehand, like a reality show.
Yeah, because it should be a lot of, I don't cease and desist and defamation exists. I don't be hearing nothing about none of that, because it'd be a lot of that on the internet.
And then a lot of alleged stories of like people like, hey, they sent their crew over and they shot at this person or whatever, but no arrests, and all we hear about is from TMZ.
I don't know nothing about that one.
Yeah, I'm just talking in generalities, but
yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just all smoke and mirrors to me, though.
It's the Matrix.
But it's just like, even with the WWE, it's these still real people behind the scenes. Some of them really don't like each other. So behind the scenes, shit really do get messy. So my bad, I had a little bite of it.
Yeah, and also no one really knows mental and financial situation. So I think there's a lot of assumptions.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it is. I feel like a lot of the bullshit that happens as far as beefs that people have is based off assumptions. You feel like this person feels this way about you, or you assume this person said, I feel like assumptions could be tied to ego too, and projection. And I know that just firsthand off of experience and me learning from who I am, and me assuming and maybe severing ties with somebody off of assumption or just anything. But I feel like that's what a lot of this is, But that's, like I said, that's why I feel back too, because you got to think in the music industry, it's so many personalities. Like, you're dealing with so many different people, so you bound to gonna have like Just too much, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And it seems like there's a lot of actors as well. You're dealing with because the entertainment
industry.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
People with imaginations or that play characters like actors, for example.
Hey, 100%.
It's hard to trust them because they play. No offense to all the actors listening, but you do play other people for a living. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people that like on when they cut off their Instagram lives and shit, they a whole totally different person. Like it's the entertainment industry. Like I feel like with how the rap game, like I take somebody like from Lil Jon. You think Lil Jon walk around with the grill and the glasses and you know what I'm saying?
He's probably wearing what I'm wearing.
But at a point in time, that's what hip hop was, and it was accepted like that. But now it's like it kind of lost that essence a little bit, where it's like you gotta be ain't no more characters. Or if I am putting on a character, I gotta live up to this character. But I can say the characters now aren't like, you know what I'm saying? You got a Sir Mix-a-Lot and stuff like I'm talking about back then before I really understood.
More like wrestling characters. Like Sir Mix-a-Lot is more of a wrestling character.
Yeah, like, I feel
entertaining.
I feel like
his marquee
leotards. Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah.
But now it's just like my character is this violent gangster that sell all these drugs, that do all this and that, and you're portraying it doesn't look fake though. You know what I mean? So you bringing in real life consequence from your character now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody running up to. I'm trying to think of somebody more modern who I feel like can relate to, who can like it resonates with now. Like
that's kind of a different person on screen.
Yeah, I feel like it ain't even a lot of that left, bro. Like, I feel like everybody is kind of like. You know what I mean? Like I only see a lot of people doing characters and stuff and visuals anymore, for real.
No, but it seems like they are. It's a kind of the same fucked up, messed up character right now of someone that's almost like has the same attributes of a school shooter. Because it's now kind of like they're embracing.
Technically, because y'all shooting up whole cribs, killing 10 people. You basically a serial killer, shit.
One lyric from one video that was on your channel, I hate to say it, was about like mess around and you'll get your son shot. I'm gonna put his ribs in his MFN lunchbox.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and like some people do live certain lifestyles, but if you're at the LA level and you're making $10 million a year or whatever, you're probably not doing those things. Or if you're like 50 years old.
And then even speaking on that, that was at a point. Me even putting out that type of material, that was at a point where it's like I was even looking at it from like the same point of the people who still asking for it, like where it's like I didn't care what I was putting out, I just was putting out stuff. You feel me? I didn't care about the consequence. I didn't care what it was doing or the message, the energy I was even consuming. Because at the end of the day, I got to sit there and edit it and listen to that line over and over again. So what's that doing to my spirit? You feel me?
So do you apologize?
Do
you apologize?
Apologize to who?
For that. Because it is like, because I don't put blame on you, but is that something that you?
I mean, it's what's done. The only way I can apologize for it is if I'm snatching everything down. You know what I mean? But I think instead of apologizing, all I can do is change what I'm doing moving forward. You know what I mean? Because like, who am I really apologizing to?
Yeah.
You feel me?
And like you were the asked to do it. I was there for a lot of it.
You said what?
That you were just you were doing like 3 videos a day. Yeah.
Yeah, for that specific video, that was just like.
So you remember the video?
Yeah, I know exactly what that was. That was a real like line. Like, I'm editing. Like,
I was like, same, and I'm not trying to name names or anything, but
I can't hold them. The person who booked the video accountable for that, because I've done videos I booked on my own that had violent lyrics that like. I feel like I shot somebody saying worse than that, so I hold myself accountable, you know. So I can't even put the blame on them. But all I can do is just continue to move forward and change what I put out now into the future, you know.
Absolutely, and you have recently. Like you've definitely,
Yeah.
I've seen you turn down opportunities.
Really in like the past 2
Yeah.
years. And I've been turning down. I probably in the past, I don't know how many videos I've turned down because it's been like a lot of the same type of energy. And it's just like I made a promise to myself that I'm not putting that type of stuff out anymore. And it's not even about, it's about me and what I want to contribute to the world, and it's not that anymore. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
I was just watching a video with this guy. He was like a former street guy, and he was saying like, we used to do a bunch of street stuff, but we realized we was being lied to. We were tricked, and that's how I felt like I did. Like the stuff that I was putting out, it felt like it was okay. Like this is the way out. That's why I can't ever. That's why I'll never be sorry for it. Like I hold myself accountable for the type of stuff I put out, but I had intentions. Like you got to think about that in a sense. The space I was in, the neighborhoods I was growing in was so bad that I was willing to put out that type of stuff without any care because I wanted to make it out of that space so bad. That says a lot. So it's like a conflicting situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think like drill music kind of started off as an honest reflection of what's going on in Chicago, and then now it's in Hollywood, so totally different story now.
And it's everywhere.
Yeah, and art is supposed to just be a kind of a window into reality, even fantasy. Yeah. And so it makes sense, but it's weird now, and that's awesome that you've.
Yeah, I feel like now it's just like a gimmick. Like I feel like I hear some of the stuff that's like kind of I feel like emulating what happened here in Chicago. And some of it like is a good tune, but some of it just cheesy because it sounds like they're forcing it to sound like we got to live up to that image that they set there. Like
because it was original. Now it's a copycat. And it's just like this is no.
You know what I mean?
It's very weird.
Yeah,
and a lot of people have reinvented themselves too. Where people that already were famous, you're seeing them switch up their attitude, and it's like how.
I honestly don't even watch a lot of stuff. I don't enjoy hip hop the way I used. Like, bro, I'm talking about. I used to wake up and breathe and stuff, bump my music every day. That's why my hearing messed up now because music bumping. I loved hip hop. This is not the same thing I fell in love with when you really get inside it and see the strings that are being pulled in it. Like it's like the Wizard of Oz when they opened the door and they seen it was just like what the hell?
A weird old guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what hip hop feels like to me now. Like I opened the door to Oz and it's just like I was tricked.
A bunch of just like creepy 70-year-olds are behind everything.
I just feel like I was tricked. But that's not going to stop me from putting out my music and doing it the way I want to do it. I just want to participate in the shenanigans,
And talking about the future, like one thing that's very fascinating is because you just have a history of just having some epic collaborations with people. And one person that you collaborated with a while ago that you're starting to collaborate again is Lil Yoshi. If you want to speak on that. And the new
Yoshi,
music and videos coming out.
I rock with Yoshi because like Yoshi always had like even when I first started working with him when he was like 14, he always just had a crazy business mind, even at a young age, the stuff he used to say and like what he said he wanted to do in the future. I'm like, man, this dude gonna be somebody. You know what I mean? And I really rock with him a lot because he's respectful and he listens too. Like I give him advice like, man, bro, I think you should do this. Or if we do it this way, I think this will be the result. And he like, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? He puts his 2 cents. He tell me some ideas. I'm like, that makes sense. Or I might throw out something. He like, man, we should do it like this. All right, let's rock it. It's just real chemistry there. And I feel like we both have the same goals in it or the same intentions when it comes to how we gonna do it and not be destructive in doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like Yoshi barely curses in his music. You feel me? He still speaks about his life. Yoshi's grew up in the streets, so that's an element to his stuff, but he tells that side of it without it being glorified to, kill one another or, you know what I mean? And I just, try to be a mentor in the situation. because at the end of the day, I steer off path, and I need somebody sometimes to put me in my place, and sometimes somebody might need that from me. Like, man, nah, bro, I don't think that's a good idea. That moves us further away from the message. And sometimes I got to check myself and put myself back on, because a lot of the times it's tempting to go back in there, because now with the path I'm on, it's slower, it's harder because of everything I've done before. So sometimes it is tempting to go back in there. Like I said, all the music doesn't sonically sound bad. Like I hear some of this stuff, I'm like, it's a really good beat. It's cadence, it's dope, but it's like the message. I can't put that out no more, because as much good as I got from everything that moved forward, I feel like I got just as much bad. And I would just want to try something different. You know what I mean? I want to see if I just follow my gut and follow and stick to my morals, could I have a different outcome than what happened before,
So for people just starting off in music, what's your advice on not just finding a mentor, but finding the right mentor? Because it seems like there's a bunch of, like,
you said, finding the right method,
right mentor. Because it seems like there are a bunch of wolves in sheep's clothing that are giving advice, selling it on Facebook Live.
I feel like the first step is to mentor yourself, like figure out yourself as much as possible. And I can't really go into deep, like I can't really explain what that is, because everybody has their own journey. But I feel like at the end of the day, somebody could tell me anything, but I'm gonna go with what I feel before I go with anybody else. No matter if it's the best advice ever. So you need to dig into yourself and figure and mentor yourself first. You know what I mean? And that's more so for people who are of a little more higher age, you know what I'm saying, who kind of getting there to that point where they start to understand themselves. But as far as like, the shorties go, it's just like, man, it's just hard. It's hard to even, because it's just so many corners where it's just like, it's bad, where it's just like, man, you don't even really know what direction to point them into, because when you at a certain age, you don't really have control. You know what I'm saying? When you got your parents, you got this and that. But I only thing I can say is just go with your gut. And that goes back to what I'm saying at first. Like, you got to mentor yourself. It's a lot you got to figure out on your own. It's trial and error, good and bad, I guess. But I say trust yourself. That's the first mentor. Yeah. Let me get my water.
Because you're someone, like, also that I think you're you kind of made health a priority, and that had like a really positive effect on you mentally.
I try to make health a priority. I don't really, I don't eat red meat like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dibble and dabble every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can't turn down a pepperoni pizza, but for the most part, I don't eat red meat. I don't really eat dairy, and just a lot of other stuff I just cut out. You know what I mean? Just for better health. You know what I mean?
And I think it's tied to your mental too. It kind of helps with the mental barriers.
Yeah, because I remember when I was the biggest I ever got, I was like 250, and I just seen like, and I was in the like worst mental space too, and I just got in the gym, and it improved my mental health. Like, I went from 250 to 190. Wow. My mental health went through the roof. Like, some point I just understood what I needed to do. I had clarity, and I knew I needed to purge and get the people from around me that was around me. And that's another thing I could say to like the younger artists too, is just like, be careful of who you put around. I feel like you always know, like, we lie to ourselves, or we are nonchalant, or we push stuff off, but when somebody needs to be in your life and when they don't, you know what I mean? Or when you're being influenced to do something you don't want to do. I just say stick to your gut and stick to your guns. And
what's your advice to someone that feels they're kind of trapped? That feels like they know, like they have a gut feeling, but they're like, I don't want to act because this could be really uncomfortable. I might lose finances, or.
And you got to sacrifice for yourself. I've been in that space where it's like, man, if I make this decision, I'm going to lose finances. And I did it. And a lot of those times when I did it, I ended up happier with less finances. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to sacrifice. It's material at the end of the day.
So put yourself first. So on that topic, so you want to speak to the new music that you're releasing and that's coming out?
Yeah, that's fine. I just released. I just put out actually 2 songs like in this past like 2 weeks. I dropped a record called No Flavor, which I recorded actually like 2 years ago. I did it in I think 2018. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think I did it in 2018. And at first I'm like, damn, this song kind of old, but I literally just seen some stuff where some of even these mainstream records take 2 years to come out, so I don't feel that bad about it. It's still a great song. Then I just released a song called The One, which I'm actually about to do a video soon to it. And that's a newer song I actually did this year. And it was actually probably one of the most personal songs I think I did as far as the mental, like being vulnerable and being okay with sharing, just sharing that it's okay not to be okay. I wasn't okay in that moment when I did that record. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like I'm usually that open with my feelings. I kind of subliminal a lot of the time, you know? But yeah, that was a real personal record.
Wow. So you took what's on the inside and just put all those onto the record.
I didn't really hold back on being sensitive, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I would say about people, I highly suggest anyone watching this to go back to your entire music catalog. Because that's one thing about your music is some of like even the most like high tempo songs are about some deep, dark stuff.
Yeah, like going through depression.
Like that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy was definitely in a depressed time. My bad. It went out again on the low.
Yeah.
Low power.
we'll wrap this up. But it's really it's like that's kind of fascinating. And I think that adds to the layers of a song when it's actually about something and not about what you think people want to hear.
Most of the music I release is I can't really even write songs when I don't have anything to talk about. Like whether it be good or bad. If I don't have anything to really rap about and I don't feel like expressing anything, I can't even make a song. I feel like I'm forcing it, and I'll just be sitting there all damn day and I just give up. So I have to like be in gotta do some stuff kind of to make good songs, you know.
And I think on the fan perspective, fans can smell inauthenticity like a mile away. And that's why you see a lot of artists in music, film, comedy, everything, that when they sell out or do something that's clearly to be cool, they usually lose a lot of fans and credibility. Like they might get the quick payday, but usually it's like a hit to their overall legacy and catalog. We're having bad reception. You hear? We're going to wait, and then we're going to wrap this up. We have bad reception. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're going to wait. Oh, you're muted. You're on mute. You probably said some like really deep things. There we go. Now? Now I can hear you.
Yeah. What was the last thing you heard?
Nothing. Like, yeah, you've been like silent for like 40 seconds.
Damn.
No, I know. I'm like, you probably said some deep ass. You probably said some really deep. You're still bad reception.
Yeah, I don't know what I said, honestly. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man.
I'm sure it's deep, but we'll wrap this up. But so where can people find you, follow you, all that good stuff?
At DGainz, DGainz. That's really everything through all social media. And Eyeball Nation is like the one I'm kind of using right now because I'm having some technical difficulties. DGainz Instagram, so it's Oddball Nation.
Oddball Nation on Instagram, DGainz on all platforms. Join the I think you're at 600,000 subscribers now, 700.
Yeah, probably almost 700,000 subscribers.
So we're on the same level. That's good. But thanks for coming on the show. Love to have you back as the show keeps going on, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.